Imagine standing in front of rows of slot machines, their lights flashing seductively, the crisp clink of coins and cheers of victory filling your ears, and the air thick with the tantalizing scent of overnight riches, as if the next pull of the lever will make you the lucky one. But what if I told you that every sound you hear, every sight you see, every feeling you experience, from the heart-pounding music to the perfectly timed animations on the screen, even that nagging thought of so close to winning, is no accident? It's a carefully crafted script designed just for you by top mathematicians, psychologists, and programmers. I'm not here to sell you some airy-fairy surefire winning strategy. Those don't exist. Today, I'm the guy pulling back the curtain on the magic trick, taking you backstage to dissect the cold, hard heart of the slot machine, made of code and algorithms. With the bluntest data, I'll lay bare the precise, insidious mechanics that pull you in without you even realizing it. There's no luck here, only probability. No miracles, just design. Ready? Let's dive into this mind-bending, data-driven journey to unravel the truth. Let's get real about slot machines, break down the dirty details of how they rake in profits, and spotlight the traps you need to watch out for. This is a conversation we gotta have. Slots look simple. Colorful, catchy sounds, just pull the lever or hit the button, and it feels like a fortune's within reach. But the truth? The water's deep, way deeper than it looks. This isn't a pure luck game. It's a finely tuned financial machine, tightly controlled by code and algorithms, designed for one purpose: to keep the casino rolling in steady, long-term profits while giving you just enough fun to stay hooked. Every spin, every reward trigger is backed by a cold, hard mathematical model. As someone who's been in the game for years, I've seen the highs of ecstasy and the lows of despair, and I've dug deep into the logic of these machines. I've boiled it down to a few core concepts that'll clear the fog and show you the slot machine's true face, turning you from a naive player into a sharp-eyed observer. These concepts are the real relationship between bets and payouts, the hidden catch behind those generous free games, the bone-chilling reality of cold streaks, the true cost of chasing that drool-worthy jackpot, and, most critically, the gaping chasm between ideal probabilities and the player's actual experience. First, let's talk bets and payouts. What's the deal here? Most folks think, I put in $1, get lucky, and I could win 10 or even $100. That's not wrong, but it only captures a fleeting possibility, ignoring the long-term certainty. Every slot machine comes factory set with a key metric called the return to player, RTP, usually between 85% and 98%, set by the casino or game developer and tightly audited by gaming regulators. What's RTP? Say a machine's set at 90%. In theory, over its lifetime, for every $1 million bet, it'll pay out $900,000 in winnings. The leftover $100,000? That's the casino's profit, aka the house edge or VIG. Right from the jump, the game's rigged against you. Every dollar you bet, mathematically, 10 cents is gone forever into the casino's vault. But that's a big picture stat based on millions or billions of spins. For you, sitting at the machine, playing a few hundred or thousand spins, the swings are wild. You might blow $500 in 10 minutes or hit a decent win on your first spin, boosting your confidence. This massive volatility is what makes slots so addictive and so dangerous. Keeps you thinking the next spin will break even when you're losing, or that you're a chosen one when you hit a win, overestimating your luck. Play long enough and the law of large numbers kicks in, dragging your returns toward that downward-sloping RTP line. No matter the highs or lows, the endgame is almost always a loss. So, wake up. Every spin button you hit is you buying a mathematically guaranteed losing entertainment experience with your own money. What about free games? They sound so tempting, like the machine's throwing you a bone after a losing streak, a chance to claw back some cash. But what's the real cost and probability? Free games or bonus rounds feel like a lifeline. Players crave them when they're down. Take a popular slot like Dancing Drums as an example. Data and player feedback show that triggering its free game usually requires 3 to 5 scatter symbols to land, with odds roughly between 1 to 80 and 1 to 150. That means you're spinning 80 to 150 times on average to hit that bonus round. Now, the payoff? Once triggered, you pick from different free spin counts and wild symbol combos, typically yielding a return of 5x to 30x your bet. On rare, lucky days, you might hit a higher multiplier, but that's a long shot. Let's crunch the numbers. Say you bet $1 per spin, and it takes 120 spins on average to trigger the free game. That's $120 spent. The average return, let's say 15x your bet, is $15. So, you've shelled out $120 for a free $15 reward, netting a $105 loss. Free games aren't free. Their cost is baked into the RTP by sharp actuaries. Why design them? Psychology. They create a peak-end experience, a thrilling high amid a slog of losses, making you forget the steady drip of small defeats and focus on the free wins rush. As the saying goes, the wool comes from the sheep. In slots, every generous gift is a bill you've already paid. Now let's tackle a concept that spooks every player: the cold streak. Just the name sends shivers. A cold streak, or downswing in the lingo, is when you spin endlessly without decent wins, or only hit tiny rewards far below your bet. The machine turns into a ravenous beast, gobbling your cash. Worse, many players fall into a deadly trap, thinking, the machine's eaten so much, it's got to pay out soon. They up their bets, hoping to fill the machine and trigger a hot streak. Catastrophic mistake. Slots run on random number generators, RNGs. Each spin is independent, with no memory of past spins. The machine doesn't care if you've lost a ton or just one big. It won't pity you or ease up. Throwing more money at a cold streak doesn't boost your odds of hitting a free game or jackpot. It just speeds you toward the abyss. Data-wise, a cold streak can mean an actual RTP far below the theoretical, like 30% or less over 500 spins. How long can it last? An hour, an afternoon, even days. No one can predict its start or end. One thing's certain. If you see clear cold streak signs and keep grinding, your bankroll will evaporate at a terrifying pace. Now, let's dive deeper. Linear probability versus nonlinear experience. How do these clash and lead players to irrational decisions? Linear probability is that RTP we talked about, a flat, steady line showing the cold, long-term math, like 90% RTP, meaning you get back 90 cents per dollar bet on average. But your experience at the machine? It's a wild, nonlinear emotional roller coaster. Lose 20 spins in a row, your balance dropping from $300 to $200, and you're anxious, frustrated, desperate. That 90% RTP is the last thing on your mind. All you want is to break even. Then, bam, you hit a 50x bet win, and your emotions soar. You feel like a gambling god, overestimating your odds of winning again, thinking you've cracked the machine. These swings, driven by volatility, are the nonlinear experience. Casinos and game designers exploit this human flaw. They know one big win's thrill can drown out the pain of 100 small losses. This distorted perception of probability pushes players to emotional, not rational, decisions. It's human nature. We're swayed by vivid, emotional moments and ignore the dry, truthful long-term stats. So, how do we account for this slippery nonlinear experience in our models to get a more realistic prediction beyond that cold long-term expectation? Enter the Monte Carlo simulation, a powerful tool. It sounds fancy, but it's simple. A computer runs thousands or millions of simulated experiments of a random event and maps the outcome distribution. For slots, you input parameters like RTP, volatility, free game odds, jackpot probabilities, and more. The computer simulates a player with, say, $500, betting $1 per spin. In seconds, it runs thousands of sessions, giving you not just the 90% RTP but a goldmine of insights. The odds of going bust after 1,000 spins, the chance of profiting over 20%, the max drawdown, the longest losing streak. This gives you a range of outcomes, not a single expectation. Pair that with a player's risk tolerance, like a $300 max loss, and the model can calculate the odds of hitting that stop loss. Monte Carlo is like a slot machine crystal ball. It can't predict the next spin but paints a precise probability map of all possible futures, helping you escape the emotional haze and see the game through a rational, data-driven lens. Let's zoom in on the data structure framework. To truly get slots, you need a clear analytical lens, comparing key metrics to understand a machine's personality. This isn't about finding a winning formula, there isn't one, but exposing the asymmetry of risk and reward. First, track real-time bets versus payouts. Don't just watch your balance. Log every 100 spins. What's your total bet, total return, and the gap? Over time, you'll see the downward loss curve take shape. Second, monitor dynamic RTP. The theoretical RTP is fixed, but your short-term RTP swings wildly, calculated every half hour, and you'll see it bounce from 20% to 200%, showing you what volatility feels like. Third, track zero or micro payout streaks, the machine eating your money phase. Count how many spins return nothing or less than 20% of your bet. When these pile up, it's a red flag. Fourth, test the bet to payout gap. How many spins to trigger a free game? How much did you lose before hitting it? Did the free game's payout cover the loss? Spoiler, usually no. Finally, compare slots to fairer casino games like Baccarat, with a house edge as low as 1% versus slots 4% to 15%. This drives home why slots are the casino's cash cow. Can we get a concrete example of how zero or micro payouts quietly eat away at your funds like termites? Sure. Picture this: you're at a $1 per spin machine with $200. The payout structure is designed so about 50% of spins yield nothing, no fanfare, your balance drops from $200 to $199. Another 30% of spins give a micro payout, say 10 cents to 20 cents, with cheery music and a "you win" pop-up, but you're still down 80 cents per spin. Let's simulate 100 spins. Based on the distribution, about 50 spins are total busts costing $50. 30 spins are micro payouts, averaging 15 cents each, so you bet $30 and get back $4.50, losing $25.50. The remaining 20 spins might yield bigger wins. Let's say $30 total, so you bet $20 and net $10. After 100 spins, your total bet is $100. Returns are $0, 50 busts, plus $4.50, 30 micros, plus $30, 20 bigger wins, equals $34.50. Net loss, $65.50. In just 10 minutes, a third of your cash is gone. The sneaky part? It's not one big hit, but a slow bleed of tiny losses, masked by fake victory sounds, lulling you into a frog in boiling water state as your bankroll vanishes. Now, flip it. If we designed a player-friendly simulator to educate about risks, not lure people into gambling, what core elements should it have? Great question. A responsible simulator's goal is risk education, with these key modules. First, full transparency and adjustable parameters. Let users input or select RTP, say 88% to 96%, and volatility, low, medium, high, to see how different machines feel. Second, clear probability distributions for key events, free game odds, e.g., 1/120, or jackpot odds, e.g., 1/1, 500, 000, not vague "you might win" fluff. Third, a real-time bankroll curve like an EKG showing funds fluctuating per spin, visually hammering home the downward trend. Fourth, mandatory stop-loss and stop-win settings. Users set a max loss, e.g., 50% of bankroll, or profit goal, e.g., 100% gain, and the sim halts with a recap report if hit. Most crucially, it must simulate cold and hot cycles extremes, not just average odds, warning users, you're in a simulated, severe cold streak. Past 300 spins returned only 28%. Would you keep playing? This lets players feel brutal losses risk-free, building a sober understanding of slots' dangers. That's how you turn a gambling tool into a quit gambling or risk education tool. Zooming in to the micro level, what's the payout distribution for a single, non-bonus, non-jackpot spin? This is key. It shows what you're dealing with most of the time. While exact numbers vary by game or vendor, the structure's universal. A pyramid model with a massive base and a razor-thin peak. At the base, 40% to 50% of spins pay nothing, pure loss, no reward. Next, micro payouts, 10% to 100% of your bet, e.g., 10 cents to $1 on a $1 bet. Make up 25% to 30%, using small wins and sound effects to keep you hooked despite losing. Then, payouts slightly below or equal to your bet, e.g., $2 to $6 for a $1 bet. Drop to 10% to 15%, offering brief relief but not enough to reverse losses. Small multiples, 9x to 15x your bet, are rarer, 6% to 8%, sparking mild excitement. Medium multiples, 16x to 44x, shrink to 2% to 5%, decent but uncommon. At the pyramid's tip, 50x plus payouts are under 1%. Over 90% of spins give zero, tiny, or inadequate returns, slowly draining your funds through high-probability, low-reward spins. Is this payout structure similar across all slots? Or are there big differences? Great question. It hits the heart of game design. Broadly, the pyramid shape holds. It's the optimal balance of casino profit and player engagement. Most spins must be low or no reward to ensure the house edge. But specifics vary based on the game's theme, target audience, and designer's philosophy, creating each machine's personality. Low volatility slots might nudge the no payout rate down 50% to 45% and boost micro payouts, making wins feel frequent, great for casual players with tight budgets, keeping them playing longer despite still losing overall. High volatility slots, on the other hand, go the opposite way. That leads to the next question. Are there extreme examples with wilder payout distributions? Absolutely. Enter high volatility or high variance slots, built on a go big or go home philosophy. Their payout structure is hyperpolarized. Mid-range payouts, 2x to 15x your bet, are slashed while no payout and micro payout rates soar, leading to long, soul-crushing losing streaks where the machine feels broken, swallowing bets without a peep. But the designers funnel the RTP from those small wins into rare, massive rewards, free games or special symbols that can pay hundreds or thousands of times your bet. These big wins are vanishingly rare, often under 0.5%. These slots aren't for the faint-hearted or thin-wallet. They burn through cash fast, targeting thrill-seekers chasing life-changing wins. For casinos, they're gold, leveraging tiny odds and huge payouts to hook players on the dream of striking it rich.